I started telling my male boss. He was being too emotional. My manager Brian told me I should focus on finding a husband instead of wasting everyone's time with presentations, after I'd just shown him a detailed plan that could save us $2 million. I've worked at this marketing company for 3 years, and Brian has taken women seriously maybe twice. Every meeting, Brian would interrupt us mid-sentence to explain our own jobs to us. Every email got a response asking if we were PMSing. Every idea we pitched got shut down as too emotional to be logical. The worst part? A male coworker literally threw a chair when his idea got rejected. Brian called it passion for the job. I tried to get through to Brian so many times that first year. This could transform our department. Then I tried being direct. Brian, I have an MBA from Wharton. Then I tried speaking his language. This will double your bonus. Nothing worked. He once told me women's brains aren't wired for strategic thinking during a performance review. But Brian wasn't the only one. Bob from sales told Kelsey she was probably on her period when she questioned the budget. My desk neighbor Levi introduced me to a client as our office decorator at the company dinner. Even the CFO said Nora should smile more and think less when she showed him proof that only men got promoted. I was drinking wine with my roommate, telling her about Brian dismissing another harassment complaint as female hysteria, and she just started laughing. You know what you should do? Start calling him emotional back. See how he likes it. At first I thought she was drunk, but the more I thought about it, the more perfect it seemed. I spent the whole weekend planning my approach. The next morning, Brian stormed up to my desk about a late project. His face was already red. This is unacceptable. The client is furious, he said, slamming papers down. Wow, you seem really upset, I said without looking up from my computer. Maybe you should take a breath before you do something rash. He paused, mouth half open. I'm not upset. I'm addressing a problem. Oh right, you just seem really emotional about this. My bad. Have you tried counting to 10? He stood there for 3 full seconds, then walked away muttering. I could tell he thought it was just once, but I started doing it every single day. Bob raised his voice about sales numbers, and I told him he was getting hysterical. He tried to correct me. I'm not hysterical. I'm explaining the quarterly projections. Bob, you're literally yelling. That's an emotional response. He tried to argue twice more, then just stopped talking in meetings. Levi got defensive about a campaign idea, and I called him sensitive. The first time, he laughed it off. The second time, he said, I'm not sensitive. By Friday, he wouldn't even make eye contact. But Brian got it the worst. Every single reaction became emotional. He got excited about a new client. You need to calm down. He was frustrated with IT. Don't be so dramatic. He disagreed with someone. Why are you taking this so personally? I did exactly what he'd been doing to us for 3 years. Just flipped. The beautiful part was watching him try to defend himself. I'm not being emotional, he'd say, voice getting louder. You're literally red in the face right now, I'd point out calmly. Maybe sit down and collect yourself. Kelsey figured out what I was doing after she saw me tell Brian he was overreacting to $1 million budget cut. She started joining it too. When Bob complained that his computer crashed and lost his work, she said, no need to make a scene over it. Nora jumped in next. When the CFO argued against hiring more women, she said he seemed really worked up and suggested he sleep on it before making any decisions. Within 2 weeks, every woman in the office was doing it. The men were going crazy. They'd start to speak in meetings, then stop, trying to sound logical. Brian finally caught on during a board meeting when I said he was being too hysterical to lead in front of our CEO. Jamie, he said, getting visibly frustrated. I am presenting quarterly data, not being hysterical. I looked him dead in the eye and said, wow, quarterly numbers. That's crazy because I've been presenting financial strategies for 3 years, but I was told to find a husband instead. Weird how that works, right? The room went completely silent. Our CEO started choking on his coffee. Brian's forehead started dripping with sweat. That's different. How exactly is it different? Because I'm discussing real business. So was I, every single time. That's when Bob jumped in. Look, Jamie, I think there's been some misunderstandings here. Absolutely, Bob, but you're getting awfully defensive right now. He blinked. I'm not being defensive. Neither was I. Funny how that works. After the meeting, Brian tried to get me fired for creating a hostile environment. He had to explain to our CEO why he was upset about being called emotional. Everyone recognized the hypocrisy immediately. The meeting lasted 10 minutes before our CEO told Brian to learn some self-awareness. Brian completely avoids me now.